City Studio
with the Deacon live.
Right now. Ready? Yes.
Welcome back, guys. On today's show, let's raise the age of being an adult and what else may be killing you in the world of vaping. And what is creating the pussification of the United States and my predictions for 2020. Will I be leaving Facebook? Stick around and find out here on Deacon Live. Welcome back, guys. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. Give us a call anytime at the station at 407-448-8800. Text us live at any time in the Queen City studio located just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, in a beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and all that stuff. And the way you do that is go to ProphetRadio.com, and you can see all our social networks and contact as well. How are you? How are you? Everything good? Did anyone get out of control Christmas Day? When's the last time we talked? I think right before Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, somewhere around there. Everything go all right? Everything go okay? Did the cops show up? Did Uncle Louie get out of control and slam something down that, you always have family fights at Thanksgiving and then everyone apologizes on Christmas Day because that's when everyone meets again. But yeah, so everyone here at the Franch is okay. It was very, very quiet. It's a very quiet time here at the Franch. We sat around and did absolutely nothing. And we made Christmas, actually, I take that back. Christmas Eve, we went outside. And my wife had to work for a little bit, but sometimes she can work from home, which is great. She's got a little portable station that she can work from. And so I went outside. My job was to collect all the loose branches and debris and dead sticks and twigs and chop down some trees that were dying and jump those up. So we had a big bonfire on Christmas Eve. Sat out there, listened to some good old music, good old times, had some drinks and relaxed and talked about what we're going to do for the upcoming year and, 2020 and what our plans are and where we want to go and what do we want to do and, just kind of plan out the next 12 months of our lives right there at the fire pit. Drinking beer is always good idea to, do that, plan it out. We're going to go to Europe and then we're going to take over and then we're going to Wisconsin and then we're going to Mars, one of those. And then we should go to Vegas or we should start a business or something, just drunk around the fire. But it's just me and my wife. Saw the neighbors, they came over, they just kind of did a Merry Christmas through the trees, and they're like, Merry Christmas through the trees, Mr. and Mrs. Deacon. Hey, okay, everybody's all right? Yeah, we're good. All right, see you later. Back to the fire. But no, it was nice. It's a nice time. Just me and her. We don't get to see each other as much as we used to, but hopefully things will start slowing down for her and hopefully speed up a little bit more for me. All in general. So, you guys are doing good. You guys are doing all right. One thing I did, we were driving around and I was looking at like the Christmas lights on all the people's houses and, we live in the Franch and the Franch is, we're far from any kind of like neighborhoods or anything like that, but just driving around seeing like people's Christmas lights out, I didn't see like a big trend, even like when people were posting pictures. Now, hold on. One thing I did see was there's a lot more, which I'm kind of jealous. There's a lot more neighborhood events when it comes to Christmas lighting and Christmas decorations and stuff. I think some neighborhoods have taken it upon themselves. I know there was one house, I forget the name of the house, in Florida, Central Florida, or it might not be Central Florida, but it's a house of 1,000 lights or 1,000, strings of lights, and everyone we used to in the neighborhood. You've got that one house on the street that just completely just does it all out. And then Disney actually bought the rights to them, the family who did this, and now, I don't know if the contract is run out, I'm talking, this is probably 15, 20 years ago. Come see the Wilson's lighting display as seen on, ABC or whatever the affiliate for Disney is. And so Disney would do all these big light extravaganzas and neighborhoods would start to get, screw Disney, let's do our own thing. So neighborhoods, I start seeing them now and lights are getting a little bit cheaper and you get the LED lights and that don't cost as much money to run them. and you plug 16 strings in, you leave those on overnight. That's like running a friggin' 20,000 square foot warehouse with all the power running at any given time. The old school incandescent bulbs. Now the LED lights is a little bit more. I got that fly. Got him. If you're watching this on the YouTube channel, or go to Prophet Radio and click on Under the Tent, and you can see all the live video stuff that we do here at the studio. So yeah, I mean, lighting has gotten a little bit less expensive to run, but a little bit. The price is coming down on LED lights. I mean, you can get a thing of LED light bulbs at Walmart, a 6-pack of just regular screw-in looking light bulbs, I think for like $6. And then I look at the incandescents and the 6-pack of the same bulbs, because they do still sell them. I think they're like 94 cents. But still, there's energy trade-off or switch on that. But yeah, I've seen a lot of neighborhoods that get together, whether it be, a bicycle ride, and people will put the lights on their bicycle spokes and the handlebars, and, 50 bicycles at any given time, and families and what. It's like when big neighborhoods used to do trick-or-treating. Everyone's scared of trick-or-treating, but God damn it, they'll go out there and ride their bicycles around. And I see that some golf cart communities, or just communities are so tight in general, they've got golf carts just for random golf cart use, I guess. But they decorate the golf carts, and everyone rides around, and everyone, hey, Maria, hey, Thomas, hey, and they're drinking eggnog and trying not to smash into each other and run over kids. But I see more and more neighborhoods getting together, which is nice. It's a community. The community's getting together and putting up all these lights to have a light show. But then, then they start getting, what's next? Then they start having awards and competitions, and, oh, look at the Joneses over there. They've got the holograms with Santa jumping up and down on the chimney. That's not really Santa Claus. It's a myth. Not a myth. Sorry, kids. It's a hologram, and it's not real. He's just jumping up and down on it. Anyway, so. But I saw that. It was great. It was great seeing neighborhoods come together to do all that. But outside of like actual trends, as far as lighting, I didn't see a whole lot of the holograms is what I meant to say. Holograms that you see like at Halloween. I see we've got here on the house that's got the it's a little thing that spins, and you see like the snowflakes go up and the snowflakes come down, and you see the reindeer come up and the reindeer go down. I mean, it's really, really basic, really, really generic. But that's what we have on our house. I have to be right back. That's why it looks weird. All right. Whew. I almost didn't make that one. So everyone's got the lights up, and one thing I do want to ask is how long should you leave your Christmas lights up? Now we're getting ready to do New Year's Eve. That's right, New Year's Eve is right around the corner. 2020. 2020 is right around the corner. And did you think I said, did you think you'd last this long or live this long? For me, I mean, I was just excited to see the millennial, because when you're a certain age in the 1990s or 1970s or 1940s and 50s or wherever, when you see the millennial, the 2000 hit, and then you're like, okay, now it's 2010, and now it's 2019, and now it's getting ready to be we're 2 decades into the new millennial, and I mean, everyone, where are my flying cars? Where's this? I want to travel to the moon. We should be, doing all this stuff by now. Well, granted, we'll get into that here a little bit later in the show, but I mean, for the most part, we've I don't know if we've come to a crawl or a standstill as far as like technology-wise, because really nothing really exciting has happened other than Elon Musk has taken over. Once the NASA program took a dump, Elon Musk has taken over the whole space thing. But the Christmas lights, how long do you leave your Christmas lights up? My birthday is the first week of January. Go Capricorns. Like I've got a fighting team or something out there. Yay, Capricorns. But I used to, as a little kid, I would say, and my birthday's little, what they call Little Christmas or Epiphany for all my Espaniola people out there. So if you guys know what that day that is, that's my birthday. I have got Venmo, so if you want to send me a gift, just kidding. DeaconLive.com. Anyway, so I would beg my mom to leave the lights up for my Christmas or for my birthday after Christmas. Because the family would come over and celebrate, little Deacon's 9th birthday, and you could just see it in everyone's faces. And that's the worst part of having my birthday on the first week of January, because what happens is birthdays in our family don't start until May. And then for May, June, there's a couple birthdays. July, I think we got a couple cousins that got birthdays. Then you get into August, there's a couple family birthdays. And then September, there's one or two. October, I don't think there's any, but you get the holidays, Halloween and stuff. And then November starts ramping up all the birthdays, all the birthday and the celebrations. My mom's birthday's in November. There's Thanksgiving, of course, and then Christmas, and then my aunt's birthday is right after Christmas, and then everyone is basically done for the year, and then they celebrate New Year's Eve, boom! And then 1 week after all that, after everyone from May to December, I am the last one. If you think about it, in a fiscal year, I'm the last one to have an event in our family, and it's always like you can just see people just rolling their eyes going, Jesus Christ. We gotta go back over to the Deacon family's house to celebrate this kid's birth. So I kind of got, I saw that the older I got, when I got to be 11 and 12 years old and 13 years old, and you don't have as many birthdays or birthday parties, not family, but you do have family and friends that come over until you get about 16, 17, and then it's not a big deal. But I saw that growing up, and I just kind of, when I got to a mature level, I say mature level because I matured early, around 13, 14 years old, I was like, you know what? It's a lot of hassle for my mom to do all this stuff. It's a lot of hassle for my dad to make time to be here. Woe is me. I know. Here we go. I'm like, you know what? Let's not do anything. Let's not do anything for my birthday. If you want to make a cake, that's fine. And if you want to do anything for my birthday, that's fine. I didn't push it. I didn't ask for things for my birthday. Because, think about it. Your whole entire family has been going nonstop from May all the way to December. They enjoy the second week of January all the way up until March and April when all that stuff happens again. So, get short end of the stick. I don't know. So when we come back, there's a lot of people out there that are getting the short end of the stick. And we'll get into that here in just one sec. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back.
Join us this New Year's Eve on Prophet Radio.
Yep, nothing.
Prophet Radio will be playing the best songs from the last decade.
Listen, so you're the party, okay? You're the party, right?
From rock music to country music to mainstream radio.
Let's see, we're gonna go with Bud Light Lime, okay? Cool. Cans.
Prophet Radio will be taking you all the way up till the ball drops.
Or Jaeger, you get a fucking thing of Jaeger, whatever. Everyone's having a good time.
Right.
Who brought the fucking bath salt? Is it me?
I don't know. What kind of parties you go to?
Welcome back to Deacon Live. My name is the Deacon. Make sure you follow us on all our social networks and all our social contacts. And the way you do that is go to Prophet Radio, PROPHET radio.com. And you can see all of our Instagram, our network feeds and stuff that we do for Deacon Live. And also follow ProphetRadio.com because they're playing the best 100 from each year for the last 10 years of mainstream radio, rock, country, all that stuff's going to be meshed in there, and that'll be all on New Year's Eve. So go to ProphetRadio.com, click on the live stream. Make sure you're on the Wi-Fi because data plans and stuff and charges, but it's our website, and we're broadcasting the top 100 songs from each category from each year all the way up until when the ball drops. So join us there as well. Oh, so there's some people that are getting the short end of the stick now. I don't want to say it's the short end of the stick, but there's some stuff going on legislation-wise that is, I don't know if it's a knee-jerk reaction. I dove into it a little bit more, and people are either outraged or it doesn't affect them at all. And the people that are outraged are the people that are worried about the government taking over their rights, the government stepping in and saying, this is this is what we think is best for you. Get on board or get out, I guess is what I'm saying. But it is a part of, the government telling it's communism. It's not communism. It's not communism, believe me. But what they're doing is changing the age of buying tobacco or tobacco products or nicotine products. I guess they got a little bit more specific there with the vaping and stuff. And it's a knee-jerk reaction. I think, in my personal belief, is this was a long time coming, and they just needed something to push it over the edge. For if you want to go in conspiracies and stuff, they were talking about vaping. And vaping, the oil, the vitamin E oil that they put in the thing so you can get the big puffy clouds and stuff. I think it was so unregulated, they just kind of said, yeah, let it be unregulated for a while, let a couple people die, and then we'll have everyone votes. We'll have those votes in our pocket, and then we'll say, okay, everyone, you can't now smoke, you can't buy tobacco products or nicotine products unless you're over the age of 21. So what they've done now is, it's a federal law now. Federal law, no one is allowed to buy. Am I misspeaking? Am I misspeaking? One sec. Okay. Let me switch screens so you guys can see what I'm looking at. So right here, increasing the minimum age to sell tobacco products is 21. It's an important strategy to reduce smoking and other tobacco use among youth. Increasingly, the tobacco youth, that doesn't make sense. Increasing the tobacco age to 21 will help prevent young people from prevent young people from ever starting to smoke and reduce the deaths, disease, and healthcare costs caused by tobacco use. Okay, so what they're saying is, no one under the age of 21 is going to be allowed to smoke. Are they coming in now? They're coming in now. Here we go. Hello, you're live on the air. I don't know. I guess they didn't want to go on the air. But what's happening is they're raising the smoking age to 21 before you can buy cigarettes or do anything like that. Now, the last time it was 16, and they rose it. They brought the smoking age from 16 in 1980 to 18 in 1987. Now, which meant that you were an adult. The federal law recognizes you as an adult at the age of 18. So in 87, which is, if you think about it, it's not too long ago. I mean, there's a lot of people out there right now, what do they call them, millennials. When you were born, from 80 to whatever the year is for millennials, you've always known it was 18. Now, for my case, I was born in the mid 70s. You were allowed to buy cigarettes at 16. Now, granted, I'm not buying cigarettes, in 1982. I'm like 6 years old. I'm not buying cigarettes at that time. But by the time I got old enough to buy cigarettes, I was way out of school, way out of high school by that time. And you could buy cigarettes, and it was just the norm. It was just the norm. Now, here's the same thing. So it went hand in hand with the legal drinking age. The legal drinking age right now is 21 in some areas. Now, they raised it. The drinking age was raised to 21 over the federal highway funding. And what you don't know is that happened in 1984. So in 1984, they already passed that the legal drinking age can only be 21. And what they did is they passed this national federal highway funding thing, which said, okay, state, let's say Florida, let's say I'm in North Carolina. So let's say North Carolina. All right, North Carolina, what's your drinking age? Now, each state had the opportunity to change their drinking age. It wasn't a federal thing, but what they did is it was kind of, they could essentially, per quo quo, per como, the federal government says, we will give you $100 million for your federal highways, to fix the roads, to fix the streets, to put up signs, to put up barricades, to do all this stuff, as long as your drinking age is 21 years old on your roads. Each state would go, yeah, we'll do it. We'll take it. We'll take it. Okay, you do this for me, we'll give this to you. You see what I'm saying? There's a trend here. Now, some states, granted, the flyover states said, no. We're keeping ours at 18. Well, you're only going to get $50 million instead of the $100 million. And those states were like, that's fine. Some of us have gambling. We'll tax those guys instead. Those people over there, the karate chop guys, the hatchets and stuff. But I mean, for the most part, that's essentially what happened. If you don't raise the age, your drinking age in each state to 21, we're not going to give you any money to protect or to fix your highways and stuff. So are they doing the same thing with smoking? Are they doing something? I haven't read anything that says anything about if you have to raise your age to 21, you'll get a break or you'll get something in your state. So I mean, you can go to war at 18. You can go to jail. I mean, federal prison for jail. You can be tried as an adult at 18. You can do a lot of stuff at 18. You can get married. Some states are a little bit lower. Thanks, Alabama. But I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you can do. When you're 18. But not now. Not when this goes through. You can't drink when you're 18 in some areas. And you're not allowed to smoke at all unless you're 21. Can't drink until you're 21. Can't smoke until you're 21. I think there needs to be a provision put in there, set there somewhere, that says if you're military active, military served, military whatever, because that's a big stink argument that you're going to get. That's a big pushback that you're going to get. I can serve my country. I can pay taxes. I can do all this stuff as far as being an 18-year-old person, but you're going to tell me when I can smoke and when I can drink. Okay, I see the paying taxes part, but I mean, even a 16-year-old pays taxes. He can't go out there and buy a handgun in some areas. So I think the military thing is, there's a big push with the military. They have a big pushback on the raising the smoking age. Drinking age, they already complained about. Now, I've worked at some nightclubs. I've worked at some bars. I've worked at some areas. I won't tell you who they were, but when a person came in, the doorman kid would show a active military ID, especially when we were in the Gulf War, and the kid was on leave or something like that, or even if he was just, a military ID, and if he was 19, I saw my doorman millions of times putting an armband on saying, yes, he's 21, he's good to go. He's 21, he's good to go. He's legal drinking age. Essentially, you're serving our country. I'm not going to sit here and, be biased as far as what the law says, and even though that's his job to hold up the law. But I mean, it's interesting how they're going to handle that and how much pushback they're going to get. I don't see a whole lot of people going, no, we want to smoke. No, we want to smoke. I don't see that pushback. But I do see them debating it. Why are you telling us now that I can't smoke until I'm an adult? I'm 18. I can smoke. I can do all this stuff. I know times are different. Times are changing. An 18-year-old person now is not the same 18-year-old person it was back in 1987. The values are different back then than they are now. So, I know. And the vaping thing is what killed it the most. And I think you want to call it conspiracy, I'll say conspiracy. I'll throw the flag up on that. I think the whole vaping thing was allowed to be so unregulated that it just, look how quickly it went through. Look how quickly this passed and went through. I heard about it on Saturday. By Wednesday, hey, guess what, everyone? The smoking age is now 21. I'm like, what? Huh? What happened? I don't know what happened. One thing that it caught me off guard. I was sitting there in my new, if you listen to the last podcast, my new theater room, watching my screen TV, and I've got, the lights are dimmed and I'm watching easy. And I'd like to have ambiance, I'll light an incense stick. And there's one thing that I turned on, and I turned it on, and I started thinking to myself, could that kill me too? When we come back, I'll talk about that here. Stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back.
Join Prophet Radio's end of the year New Year's Eve party.
I want to say it and see everything.
Yep.
Heck yeah.
Playing the top 100 songs each year from the last 10 years.
Okay. Oh, shit.
Your favorite rock,
Could you scoot?
country,
There you go. I got to see a little bit what's going on.
and mainstream music.
Snap it to the left.
I think this snaps.
Snaps.
Prophet Radio, all the way till the ball drops.
All right, Trav, we need to kind of angle that a little bit.
What do you want?
Really?
Welcome back to Deacon Live. Give us a call at the station at any time at 407-448-8800. Text us live at any time at the Queen City Studio, located just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. A beautiful town back home, Marshall. You ready for 2020? 2020, huh? 2020, a whole brand new decade, our second decade into the new millennial. So we're getting into that.
Écoute-moi.
Make sure you're following ProphetRadio.com. They're playing the top 100 songs from each year for the last 10 years from each genre, whether it be rock, mainstream, or country. And that music, the music has changed in the last couple years. I say the last couple years, last 20 years. Last 20 years, that music has changed. And I blame, see, music itself has changed, and what are they? Life imitates art. I think they say that. Life imitates art for the most part. And I think the music, whether it be rock, whether it be mainstream, R&B, hip-hop, country, I'm talking the main stuff, the stuff that sells quote-unquote records or hits or views or whatever they talk about now. I blame music itself for the pussification of the United States. I really do, because I was going through, because I'm in charge of somewhat of the broadcasting responsibilities at Prophet Radio. So I'm looking through like getting everything lined up, and I'm getting the country music all set up, and I'm going through the mainstream stuff, and I'm going through like a couple of the songs from the top 100 rock songs. I'm going through the rock songs, and I'm like, I'm a white guy. I like country music. I like rock. Mainstream, if it's got a good beat, I can dance to it. I'm the drunk white guy at the party with the lampshade on my head. But for the most part, I'm looking at the bands, and I'm like going, Jesus Christ, what are these? What am I listening to? It doesn't even. I feel soft. I don't feel like doing anything when I hear these songs. And when I say that, for example, I come from the old school. I mean, you could tell when you heard a song, you're like, oh, that's rock, or that's R&B, that's hip hop, that's country, that's mainstream, kitty pop or whatever they want to call it. So I pulled up, just out of curiosity, I pulled up the list of the number one songs in rock music from 2009 all the way up until now. Now, granted, the number one songs, because of the way we absorb, the way we consume music, it's totally different than actual buying a CD, actually buying a record, a single. I mean, no one buys singles anymore. I remember going to, Musicland, and buying the singles, the little cassette. It had one song on one side, maybe two songs, and you flipped it over. It was like a 5-minute cassette, and you could see the leader tape and everything on side, the magnetic tape. Stay with me, people. The magnetic tape, barely you could even see it through the little glass or the little plastic window on the side. A full cassette, you see, ooh, it hits that little hash 50 mark right in the center. You're like, ooh, this is a long album. And then this, you looked at a little plastic thing so you could see the tape inside. You couldn't even say, is there anything on this thing? Well, there's got to be something on it. They're selling it. But we don't consume that way anymore. Now, here's the songs from 2009 going on up, and I'm just going to spit these names out for the bands, and I'll give you the years, and you can start seeing band names, familiar band names, and then they work in a couple. Well, let's do it this way. You ready? I'll just start from the top. So right here on June 20th, 2009 was Green Day. Green Day, love Green Day. Right after them, this is the very next week, Linkin Park. This is all 2009. Alice in Chains had a couple one. Check My Brain had a couple. It was on the number one charts for 8 weeks. Foo Fighters were in there. Breaking Benjamin, 3 Days Grace, Alice in Chains again. This is all, now we're getting into 2010. Stone Temple Pilots had a awesome year that year. 3 Days Grace, Shinedown. Now we're starting to see these new, still hard rock bands, or kind of rock bands, but they're getting a little pussified. In my opinion, they start getting what I used to call in 2000, when like bands like, what's the one band that came out? Stained. When Stained came out, and all those other bands like Stained, I called them sulk rock. Like sulk, like, look at me, I'm a rocker, but I'm so depressed. And SULK, sulk rock. Shinedown came out. Dirty Heads, that might have been tied to a movie. It was only on the charts for 1 week. Then Shinedown again. Linkin Park, Disturbed, and then they start tying these songs to movies. So here we go. They're all like one-hit wonder type things. I say one-hit wonder. Only on the charts for like 1 week. Here's Disturbed in 2010. Only on the charts for 1 week. Stone Sour, that guy. Then the Black Keys. The Black Keys were on there for 2 weeks. Stone Sour again for 1 week. Then the Black Keys took it up again. I guess the movie came out and had great hits, and now they're on the charts for 10 weeks. Cage the Elephant. You see, we went from Green Day, Alice in Chains, Linkin Park, Stone Temple Pilots. Now we're into Cage the Elephant. Foo Fighters, of course, they're a classic. Anytime they produce something, it's usually a hit. Then here's the Red Hot Chili Peppers. The Red Hot Chili Peppers did not have a hit in the first decade until 2011. They've got their own problems going on. But again, most of these songs are attached to a movie. So if you've got a number one movie or a hit movie or something like that, usually that song gets a lot of press, a lot of push. Now, that song was on the charts for 8 weeks. And I'm going down, and then Green Day, Linkin Park, Green Day, Linkin Park, Linkin Park. And then we get into this. And this is where September 29th, 2012 is where I say the pussification of America started as far as the music. The music reflects how soft everyone's gotten. I don't want to go outside. I've heard neckbeard. Neckbeard is the funniest thing I've heard in the last year as far as describing these millennials. If you don't know what neckbeard is, it's those, man, I see them in Walmart all the time, tagging right behind their moms. And they must have been 20, 21 years old. And the only beard they can actually form, because their face is on a pillow for most of the time, and it rubs the hair off, is right underneath their neck. And here it is, 2012, the Lumineers. The next week, Mumford & Sons. And those two bands right there, I blame for the pussification of the rock music that they have that's pussifying what's going on as far as people standing up and doing something. Now, granted, hip-hop and country, well, country's kind of gotten pussification, but hip-hop and R&B and mainstream has taken that up a little bit. They've taken the reins and kind of stood up, and, you know, the women's movement. Let's be, proud of ourselves. Let's be on top of ourselves. Not really fighting back against the government, just fighting back against each other is where mainstream music has gone to. And then you go down to Coldplay, Paramore, Coldplay again, 21 Pilots, Imagine Dragons, and then this goes on. And then that's it. I mean, we went from Green Day, 3 chords, Linkin Park, Loud, Alice in Chains, all the way down to Mumford & Sons, Lord, and Coldplay. So that's my opinion. I'm just saying, art reflects life and life reflects art. So if you've got this pussification of music, I mean, who's going to stand up and get rowdy or do anything or have... I saw an article, what was the other day? The 80s metal kids, that's going to rot your brain cells. All those people, all the kids that listen to Metallica in the 80s and Megadeth and Tesla and all the other bands, Slayer and all those guys, they're well-adjusted people today. They understand that because they got a lot out of their system. They understood the muck and the grind that those bands went through. I don't know. I'm just a music major. I know I tease you about what's going to kill you in the house, and I'll get into that here in just one sec. You're listening to Prophet Radio. I mean, you're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all our social networks and stuff, and you can do that by going to ProphetRadio.com. And make sure you listen to us New Year's Eve 2020. We're doing a live show, followed by the top 100 songs from each year for the last 10 years from each genre of music, and that should be fun. It'll be a great time. Some of the music I was listening to, I'm like, oh my God, I forgot about this song. I forgot about that song. And then a couple songs I heard, I was like, oh, freaking kill me. Now, I was talking about Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, actually. I was sitting in my new theater room, and I had, the dogs on one side of the room, and I've got my little tray here, snack table is what I've been told it's been called, snack table, and I got my, little drink there, and I'm sitting there, and I'm enjoying myself, and the mood lighting's lit, and the high five is in the background, everything's nice and cool, and I'm watching TV. And I like to have a nice aroma, a nice ambiance in the room. And I lit up, you ever seen those vape things? Not vapors, the misters? You've seen them at Walmart. They're like $20. And you fill it with water, and then you put a couple drops of the oil in it. And then, you put the thing on, you click it, and it either has like a light. Mine looks like a little lantern. Little, old school farm lantern. And it changes colors. It goes from red to green and all the colors of the rainbow. And out of the top comes this little vapor that comes out. And it's very small. I mean, it's very small, and it smells like eucalyptus. And I'm like, oh, that's so nice. Eucalyptus, I'm relaxing. You see them at spas. If you go to spas, I go to a spa, get a spa treatment at least 3-4 times a year. And it's always with my wife because we like to go and relax and just, have it all out. And, so I like having that at the house. I wanted to relax, so I'm sitting there and I'm smelling the eucalyptus, and I'm watching my show or my Letterkenny episode that I'm watching, and I'm smelling, and I'm breathing normal, and I'm like sitting there, and I'm like, I don't know what happened, and I was watching Letterkenny smoke, smoke a cigarette. I'm like, oh, you don't see them vaping on the broadcast, the show, and then I started thinking back to. This is even before I heard they raised the smoking age to 21. So I'm sitting there. This is right after the vaping e-cigarette things. So I'm sitting there, and my dogs. We have 2 bulldogs, so they've got that. I forget what they call them when they have that what the actual word is for a short muzzle. So they have sinus problems. So I've fired the thing up, and I'm sitting there, and it's I'm watching my show, and I start. Now this is like 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon. My dogs, I don't know. Now, granted, the windows are open. Got to air the funk out of the house, and the dogs start sniffling, and you can hear them breathing and snorting a little bit more. So my question is, my wife bought the little oil. You ever bought those oil things at like Walmart or anywhere that specifically sells scented oils for your house? They're expensive. They're like $4 or $5 for like a nice 4-ounce bottle, and that's being modest. She went to the dollar store. Here we go. Went to the dollar store and found like these maybe half-ounce or 1-ounce little glass. They look like the old if you've ever done model airplanes or model cars or any kind of model things, Tesla used to make the little paint. The little paint for painting the cars and stuff. And they were these little small square, about the size of 2 dice standing on top of each other, little bottles that you'd take the paint out of. This is what the oil, I guess they went out of business and they sold the glass bottles to the oil people. And the oil was in these little glass things with a little dripper on it. And I'm like going, you know what? I wonder if they're doing, and this was she's like, oh, it was only $1. I'm like, $1? She's like, yeah, it was at the dollar store. And I go, well, how can they charge $6? Oh, you know what? I wonder if they put this vitamin E stuff that was giving everyone a hard time and throwing them into lung cancer and lung failure and collapsed lungs and stuff in the hospital. I wonder if so I stopped. I freaked out. I literally stopped what I was doing, turned all the lights on in the house. The writing is so small on the side of it, and I had to get a magnifying glass to read it to see if it had ingredients. All it said was, be careful, don't swallow it, don't eat it, don't drink it. You know, the typical stuff. Don't let babies play with this. Don't let adults that are idiots play with this as well. You got to tell them. And then it says made in India. India. So I'm like going, well, there's no real rules over there as far as what they were doing, but I don't know what they were doing with the stuff that they were adding vitamin E to, where that was coming from. Was that being made in someone's garage in their backyard, like you do meth out there in Iowa? No offense to Iowa, you got the best meth in the world. But as far as adding vitamin E oils to get the big cloudy smokes, the big puff, the big billowing stuff, were they doing this to the oils, the essential oils that you drop into your vaping thing at the house? So I stopped. I was like, oh my God. I think I just scared the shit out of myself. You've ever had any problems with your little vaping thing at the house? A little water vapor, what are they called? Essential oils. I see there's almost like book clubs. People are doing Sensasy or something online. It seems like a racket. But they do that. But I saw it and I was like, oh my God, I think I might be. I think this is causing me to have congestion. Like I can feel my sinuses being a little bit more worse than that. No. So 2020 coming into 2020. You know what I hate is I hate Facebook. I say I hate Facebook. It's a love-hate relationship with Facebook. And when we come back, I'll get into that because I think for the most part, I've got my 2020 predictions coming up, and this is just a small segment. I'm going to talk about Facebook and what's going to happen to them. And I don't know if I'm done yet. I might talk myself back into it. I've been known to do that. So stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. I'm done yet. Talking about Facebook and what's going to happen to them. And I don't know if I'm done yet. I might talk myself back into it. I've been known to do that. So stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Big car going through. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Are you guys ready for 2020? Make sure you take advantage of all the stuff that goes on for if you're going to drink and drive. There's an old saying, if you're going to drink, don't drive. And if you drive, don't drink. But if you have to, AAA also has a, starting, I believe, this weekend, you can go to AAA.com and the whole tow and go. They'll pick you up and your car and drive you to your house within a certain radius. I think it's like 20 miles, 25 miles, and take you back to your house. And everyone gets home safely. We want everyone to get home safely this New Year's Eve. We're going to be doing a New Year's Eve, or actually a New Year's Day party. Special edition of Deacon Live on New Year's Day. So make sure you tune in for that. And the way you do that, make sure you get that notice right away. It's to subscribe to anywhere you listen to your podcatchers, iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn, and then there's over 50 some odd different platforms throughout the whole world that we are on, and we appreciate each and every one of you for doing that as well. Now, Facebook has killed me, or I'm killing them, one of the two, but I think the internet actually killed one main thing that's happened. Talking about getting into the second decade of the 2000s. In the 1990s, you remember baseball cards and stuff? the internet basically killed baseball cards because there was a time where a guy in California had the rare rookie card of Tommy Mathis, and then the guy in Florida wanted it. How did you get that? Well, he didn't know that there was like 16,000 of them in between California and Florida. He just found this one guy who had a card, and he wanted to buy it, and you could jack up the prices on that. It's a commodity. They were rare commodity, supply and demand type stuff. But I think Facebook itself has killed a lot of my childhood myths. When you see, I can't think of anything right offhand, but there's a lot of childhood myths out there that Facebook itself, because it's new fact checking, you can't throw anything by Facebook. You can't put up there that if you hold your breath for 20 minutes and then spin around in a circle, you'll see God. That type, just stupid stuff like that. Facebook's got the new fact checker and stuff out. Now, one thing that is a true story, speaking of Facebook, is this guy, and I want you to look at this, watch this Under the Tent, and the way you do that is go to ProphetRadio.com, click on the Under the Tent section, and you can see this right here. This guy right here thought it'd be funny to tattoo his wife's face on his arm, which sounds great. It sounds great. Oh, look, the loving husband tattoos his wife's face on his arm. That's set in stone. Now, however, this UK man flipped the script on an unsuspecting soulmate, which is his wife. James McGraw, number 40 years old, a window cleaner from Portsmouth, took revenge on his wife for giving him a shoddy haircut as a goof. Now, what he did was, they were sitting in a plane, and it must have been a long flight somewhere, and she completely passed out, earbuds in her ears, and just head back, loving life, and snoring and stuff. So James McGraw, who is not unfamiliar to tattoos, 3/4 of his body is covered with tattoos, took a selfie with his wife sleeping in the chair, head back, headphones in, and he's in the corner, like the upper left-hand corner, kind of smiling, laughing at the same time while he's taking the selfie, took it to his friend who's a tattoo artist, and had this image tattooed on it. So if you're watching this Under the Tent, it's literally, you've seen them, people like head back, mouth open, catching flies, and she's sleeping there, and then the guy in the corner, her husband, smiling and laughing at the same time. So he had this image. It looks pretty good. It's not to USA standards. I know some pretty good tattoo artists out there that could do a better rendition of this with what they call the shading and the gray and shading. Grumpy Chris will tell you about that. Hold on, I gotta write that down because I want Grumpy Chris. I'm sure he's seen this before. I want to make sure he knows that I talked to him. Talked about him. So yeah, there's a image there, which is, it's silly. It's silly. It's like one of those people that what's his name? Steve-O from Jackass, which they're coming out with part 4 here soon. Tattoos, your name on his ass. He's like, I got your name on my ass. And no, you don't. There it is. It's stupid stuff like that. Now, before I get into my predictions for 2020, everyone tries to get better health. I want to be better health, and let me start by saying I understand it now when everyone says I want to lose weight. I want to, I don't want to do this as much. I don't want to do that as much. I put on a pair of pants the other day. I literally after the holidays, I put on a pair of pants the other day, and I go, oh, I love these pants. I love the way they feel. And I kind of went, button them in the front, and I kind of went, ooh, it's a little. I must have them too high on my hip. You ever done that before? Oh, I'm going to button my pants. No, I'm a little too high on my hip. Let me bring them down a little bit, and then I button them, and I look at myself in the mirror, and I go, and I'm hitting it. I'm like, what the hell is this? What am I hiding here? What's this hanging over the edge of my totally tan lower half? My totally fine-tuned lower half, my upper half is hanging over my lower half. So, not a whole lot, but I can feel, you can feel a little bit. You can feel it in your cheeks when you walk. That little bit of wiggling and stuff. But one thing a lot of people like to do, we do predictions here at Deacon Live. We don't do resolutions because they always get broken and stuff. But one thing I do want to bring up, I want to say this to you to help you. A lot of times I want to get better sleep. I want to get more sleep. I want to get a good night's sleep. And how do you do that? Well, here at Deacon Live, a great sponsor, the Purple mattress, and they've got a whole variety of different styles and stuff. We have a Purple mattress here at the French here at Deacon Live. Love it, love it, love it. No problems with it at all. We've had it for probably, the show's going on 4 years, so we've had it for 3 years now. They've been a sponsor of Deacon Live. We love them for the last 3 years. Before that, I'd never even heard of them. But anyways, sleeping is more science as far as the way you lay than it is just taking a what I call a night-night pill and just being done with it. Now, the reason why I say it's more science, how you sleep. Are you let's do it this way. Let me make sure I have the right menu up here. There you go. Are you a back sleeper or are you a side sleeper? Are you a stomach sleeper? How do you sleep determines how well you're going to, the position that you sleep in is determine how well you're going to sleep that night. Now, most of us go into what they call the fetal position because when we're in our mother's womb, that was the position that we slept in the most when we were babies. So our body naturally goes back to that conformity. And over the years, our body has learned to stretch out and do all that stuff. So improper laying on a mattress, whether it's good or bad, can cause neck pain, back pain, sleep apnea, fatigue. Impaired circulation is one thing. Muscle cramping is another thing. Heartburn and headache is another thing. I know my wife, sometimes she'll have to sleep with a pillow up underneath her knees to kind of raise her knees above her back to give her back kind of to stretch her back out, which is great. Now, have you thought about like when you have heartburn or tummy problems? There's probably a reason why that. They say that people who sleep on their left side are more likely to have a better night's sleep than people who are sleeping on their right side. And the way that is the way your esophagus and your digestive tract and everything is consolidated on one side of your body than the other. So if you sleep on your left side of your body, all the tubes are open. You're not pinching all the tubes. So your esophagus connects to your stomach, of course, and then all that stuff. Everything can flow freely. If you turn over to your right side, the weight of your body kind of pinches a lot of the stuff and causes like acid reflux, causes stomach problems, stomach uncomfortableness. Sometimes your poop track comes on in the middle of the night for no reason at all because you've pinched on your right side, and then when you flip over your left side, it opens right up. Like, I know I'm getting really, really disgusting, but I'm a right side sleeper, and I know when I sleep, here we go. Here goes the crazy. Here goes the crazy in Deacon Live's world. I lay on the bed like it's a Rubik's Cube, like it's a puzzle. Like I have to start on my left side, and then I'll stay there on my left side until my arm starts to hurt, and then I have to switch over to my right side. But I can only switch over to my right side if my left side of my body, my arm or leg, does not touch the right side of my body, physically skin to skin. So I have to tuck in sheets and stuff in between all that. You guys do it before, or done it before. Put pillows in between your legs and stuff, just so your left leg doesn't touch your right leg. My left side of my body has never known the right side of my body's feel at all while I sleep because I keep sheets and stuff. Wrap one arm and it's weird. So if you're having problems, think about it when you're sleeping. Start on your left side, or if you have any problems or backaches or acid reflux or stomach issues, I'm not feeling well, try just laying on your left side and for a few minutes and see what happens and see if that ends up. And there's a lesson from Dr. Deacon. There you go. How about that? And we come back and we'll get into my predictions, and then we'll wrap up the show and let you guys get on to what you got to do. Get ready for that party for 2020 or 2020 or whatever. I've seen a bunch of stuff out there, what they're calling it. So stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. We are getting ready to celebrate the New Year's Eve right here on Prophet Radio. Make sure you tune us in. And the way you do that is go to ProphetRadio.com and click on the, actually just click on it and the music starts playing. It's a live streaming broadcast, a live streaming radio station. And we are playing the top 100 songs from each category, rock, country, mainstream, for the last 10 years. Should be fun, should be exciting, and we're doing a live, Deacon Live, New Year's Day show. So make sure you tune in for that, and the way you do that is to make sure you like us, subscribe us, share us, and do all that stuff. And before I get into the last little bit of the show here, I'd like to thank all you guys. We just wrapped up, this is our 4th year of doing Deacon Live. We have appreciated each and every one of you. And to give you an idea of what we've done or what we've accomplished, the last couple podcasts that we've been doing, I'd like to thank everyone out there who supported us. We are now being downloaded. We've reached the 3,500 downloads per episode on the last couple podcasts. So I'd like to thank all you guys for doing that and sharing all that and enjoying what we do here, or just hate what we do here. You just like to listen to us so you can hate us more, whatever the case may be. But no, really, you guys have helped us out. And we're going into year 5 of the Deacon Live podcast, and a lot more things are coming. And make sure you follow us as the world turns around us as well. So here are my predictions for 2020. Has nothing to do with the Deacon Live podcast. I just want to continue what I'm doing, and because of you guys. Anyway, so just to get it out of the way, we're not a political show, not really a religious show at all. But I'm going to say that Donald Trump will win the 2020 election once we get past this whole impeachment stuff. And I think what's going to happen is that he is going to bring up somewhere that there are going to be term limitations on Congress. That's term limitations on the House, term limitations on the Senate, but not as strict as the presidency as far as term limits. I think it'll be a little bit more looser, but he's going to look at and realize that these what they call lifetime politicians, they need to be moved out, moved in, and all that stuff. So I think that you're gonna see that change, or you're gonna see some kind of movement towards that. Whether it passes or doesn't pass, that's another thing. Facebook itself. Here's my prediction on Facebook. Because of what we call the Moore's Law, and Moore's Law means basically every 18 months. Let's say you buy an iPhone, the iPhone 11 that just came out a couple months ago. Every 18 months. Technology recycles itself, or redoes itself, or re-ups itself. So whatever you buy, usually in 18 months, is completely obsolete. And I think Facebook is going to find themselves stuck in a hole. I don't think they're going to be able to switch fast enough. I don't think they're going to be able to capture a bigger audience or maintain the audience that they have because of technology. And the reason it's not necessarily technology, I think there's an age group in there. I came from a group of people that loved MySpace when it came out. I came from a group of people that loved the Microsoft Chat when that came out. Granted, I evolved to Facebook, but not like if you think about it, Facebook came out in 2005. Now the person that was born in 2005 is now 14, and that's their mom and dad's platform. That's their, grandmother's platform. They don't want to be on grandma's platform. So something's going to happen. Something's got to change as far as that. So those are my 2 big predictions as far as what's going to happen in 2020. And I'd like to hear yours. We got a couple. We did have a winner. I think her name was, I got it written down here, Marion Bickles from Iowa. Oh, shit. I talked about Iowa early in the program. I don't know, Marion Bickles from Iowa had the best. I say the best. She's the one who called in and gave her prediction for the new year. And the way you find that is go to the members only section, click on members only, sign up for that. It's a small fee. You can hear her predictions. Maybe she's right, maybe she's wrong. And I want to hear from you. And the way you do that is go to ProphetRadio.com while you're listening to the New Year's Eve special music. Click on the Be Heard. Opens up a microphone. You could talk to me right here to the station. Drops us a little line right here, and we'll play it right here on the air. So I hope everyone's doing good. On behalf of everyone making it through another decade, friends and family, thank you for another year. We're starting year 5 of DeaconLive. We appreciate that. And we'll see you on the other side of the decade. I know it's so cliche. One thing I do want to say, hold on, because I got important things to say. Hold on. So one thing I do want to say, I do want to mention to all of our listeners, because we do have over. Oops, what's going on there? Stop. Okay, sorry. My clipboard was leaning on the thing here. So one thing I do want to say is accuracy is the ability to hit a target. Precision is the ability to achieve the same result over and over. You can be accurate without being precise, and you can also be precise without being accurate. And the reason why I bring this up is because the world needs you in it. The world is a better place with you in it. We want to have all you people out there, all our listeners. I know a lot of people are struggling with the new year, 2020. Does anyone care? Does anyone love me? We do. We do here at DeaconLive. And if you need to get help, by all means, you can call. Let's do it this way. You can call this number here. Let's start with this. 1-800-273-2855. And if you just need someone to talk to, and you want someone that you know you've heard a million times before listening to this podcast, if you feel comfortable talking to someone that you know that voice, by all means, call me here at the station. I'll be happy to talk to you. My number is 407-448-8800. That's the live studio line here. I'm available at any given time. Give me a call. Again, the world is a better place with you in it, and we'd love for you to be part of us in the next decade. So, with that being said, I appreciate each and every one of you for listening to us, taking care of us, supporting us for the most part. I say for the most part. For all parts. Stick around for our New Year's Day broadcast. Subscribe to us, and you can hear that as soon as possible. You can hear that here soon. My name is the Deacon, saying goodnight. Hey, goodnight.
Oh no. Wait.
Tried.
Come back.
Tried to make it.
The absolute end.
Écoute-moi.